How's it going, guys? I'm here with your SmackDown review, and before we get started, we'll talk a few things on Raw. I talked about the releases already, so you can go check out that video. We're not going to tread through that. What I want to ask is, I was looking through some of my analytics, and I noticed, like, the channels that other people who watch me like, and I came across the Great One, which was someone that I watch from time to time, and his videos are pretty good. They're like all WWE related, and they're like pretty like edited up, like shorter videos. And the question what I want to ask is, I look at the watch time on some of these videos, and I could go pretty long, because I don't edit a lot of things out of the videos. There's a little bit of editing here and there, not very noticeable when it is there. Do you guys want to see shorter videos like that? Like, would you be good with like a 10-12 minute SmackDown Raw review? Because I see like the highest that usually gets is like 18 minutes, like average watch time. And like, if you guys are not going to watch the whole thing, I might enjoy doing it, but like there's no point in me sitting here and talking that long if you don't really like it that much. So let me know what you think down in the comments down below. And I could just maybe try to wrap things up a little bit quicker. We'll see how that goes. But let me know in the comments down below. So on Raw, we've got Nikki Cross now being a contender for the women's title. So she's not there at all. It's kind of like Aleister Black syndrome. You go from not being there at all to getting featured every week. And now apparently just because she lasted in a match with Rhea Ripley and Charlotte from week to week, this somehow qualifies her. The women's wrestling divisions on both shows are complete jokes. Nikki Cross, I'll admit this, she's very cute. I did like how she looked on Raw. I watched a few clips here and there so I could talk about it. And but the thing is, standing in there with Charlotte and Rhea Ripley, as terrible as Ripley is, she just doesn't look like she belongs. And I'm supposed to believe that she stands a chance against either girl in a women's title match. What a complete waste of time. That's why we don't review that show anymore. Drew McIntyre defeated Kofi Kingston. And, they thought better of it. Why are we even having us believe that Kofi Kingston could even beat Drew McIntyre? The hell with that. Thank God they came to their senses. They played with the idea, and they probably were kind of thinking about it. But I saw even people commenting online. I know, WWE shouldn't go by comments. I always say that. But, it's probably not a good idea to go Kofi Mania 2 when Kofi Mania 1 sucks so badly. And to finish things up with Raw, Humberto Carrillo is a total numbskull. He's a goofball. He's an idiot. He's a fucking moron. And not only that, I get it, he was scheduled to win the match against Sheamus. But Sheamus should have knocked his ass out right there on live television. It's been done before. I know it's not acceptable in today's wrestling, but that's how it would have been back in the day. If someone did that to Farouk in the ring, or someone did that to Hardcore Holly, busted their nose open with a stupid ass kick, and it was an ill-timed kick, and you got what's his name, Corey Graves, saying it was a grazing shot. It was more than a grazing shot. He cracked Sheamus in the nose, busts him wide open. His nose looked horrible, horribly disfigured and flanned out like a pancake. And this came right off the heels of jobbing Sheamus out to Ricochet. And then he loses to Carrillo. What are they out of their fucking minds? Honestly, you're going to sacrifice this guy, which, he's been so loyal to this company over the years and given them so much. And all they do is crack away at this guy little by little, and for what? What is the point to having him lose to Ricochet? They've already tested out Ricochet. No one buys that guy. They already did the whole Brock Lesnar feud. No one likes him. If McMahon is giving up on him, and he gave up on him a long time ago, why are we letting two certified jobbers get the win over Sheamus? Whether they got assists or not, it doesn't matter. It looks horrible. So that's all I got to say about Raw. We'll move on. We start off with the Usos and Roman Reigns, and I really like, this type of thing that they've got going on here with the Usos and Reigns, and of course it could be done better, but for right now I like the chemistry. I like how they bounce off of one another. Reigns is very skeptical of the Usos. The Usos are going to win the tag titles. And, I this wasn't anything great. I'm just saying this is better than the norm. I like that there's a little bit of something there. There's a spark of something, a spark of a little bit of entertainment. I like what I'm seeing. It's nice to see something that I look at that I actually like, as opposed to just shaking my head and sitting there the whole time at the computer with my head in my hands. It's a nice change up. So we've got the match here. Rey Mysterio and Dominic defeat the Usos. Dominic gets another victory roll, the same way he beat Bobby Roode, as a matter of fact. But they do some kind of kabuki-ish victory roll pin. And the whole thing, you couldn't even tell that this thing was supposed to... It would look like more of like a botch than anything. Really, like, you couldn't even tell that one of the Usos really had his shoulder up. Because those victory rolls, where everyone is like spinning their legs around, frantically trying to kick out, those never look perfect. And so we're told, and Cole is like, I think the shoulder's up. And I thought it was another botch call. I thought it was like him botching the call with Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks again, saying that Sasha kicked out when she really didn't. But whatever the case may be, Roman Reigns tells the Usos that they got screwed over and they better do something to fix it. The one part that I did like here is when Roman Reigns called Jay Jimmy, and it wasn't an accident. He did it on purpose because he had said, like, you don't want to go back to not being able to be told apart. And that's very true. I think you could look throughout my reviews over the years, and I always said, I don't know who the hell they were. Until now, when they have different hairstyles and they've really had them stand apart. And now that Jay has done some stuff on his own, now they kind of have some individuality. And that's very interesting because, you think back to booking twins. Vince Russo even said it was very hard to get, like, the Harris brothers over because of the fact that the guys looked exactly the same. They didn't have any individuality between the two of them. So, that coming into play and them playing off of it, I thought that was kind of clever. They did some clever writing, guys. It's amazing, isn't it? Then we've got Seth Rollins, and it's more, and this interview right here was totally worthless. There was nothing conveyed here that really, amounted to any sort of value or entertainment. And when he's asked about Cesaro, once he's able to return, what is he going to do? And he just takes the mic off like it's a big secret. What's the big secret? That we're going to get a continuation of a shitty storyline and another shitty rematch. And Cesaro's world title picture is completely in the past. It's already rode off into the horizon. It's nowhere to be found, okay? He throws the mic down and he's got I thought he was going to do that cringy laugh, but thankfully he didn't. But because we would get, speaking of laughs, we'll be talking about that in a moment. The Street Profits and Chad Gable are backstage. And, Gable brought up the thing that I always forget about him, that he's the Olympian. The guy might be really short, and it's kind of hard to really, make this guy believable, but he's in great shape. He's an Olympian. And I'm very, 50-50 on this guy. I think that he's a good wrestler. He shows that time and time again. I really don't know why they didn't go the route of having this be Kurt Angle's illegitimate son, instead of Jason Jordan. I know we're about 3 years late on that one, but I said it back then too. I don't know, like, instead of going with the Shorty G thing, but, Gable here, the acting is just, it's horrendous. It's terrible. And the whole thing, of saying that the Sky High was like a low medium, I mean, this was some cringy ass stuff, to say the very least. And he wants them to join the academy, and this academy thing, what is the point of it? And why would Otis even team up with this guy? I've said it time and time again. Like, Gable doesn't win any matches. He's not successful. He's never been successful in WWE. So why is Otis like hitching his wagon to Gable's star? It doesn't make any sense to me. And why don't they play up the Olympian gimmick? This doesn't make any sense to me. Why don't they go all out? Make him look like Apollo Creed. Seriously, give this guy the stars and stripes. Remember, like, the robe that Jack Swagger used to come out in? Why don't we give him, a little bit of a Kurt Angle gimmick? Not copy it exactly, but at this point, go ahead and copy the Kurt Angle gimmick, because it would be better than the Academy, than the Alpha Academy, and all that cringe. So we've got the Usos asking Adam Pearce, Scrap Heap Iron Pierce, and Sonya Deville, to do something to fix the mistake made by the referee. They say that there's nothing that they could really do about the decision, but they'll take it under advisement. I still cannot stand having either one of these as an authority figure. I don't know why they haven't been able to get a better authority figure by this point. They've had so much free time on their hands. Seriously, they have no house shows or anything like that, and they're in the same building all week long, and they still haven't been able to get this right. I don't understand it. You can't even have Bischoff, like, during the pandemic, just act as the GM. I mean, I don't get it. Even have Bruce Pritchard be the GM. At least that guy could at least act. Somebody that actually would be a believable authority figure, instead of having Sonya Deville in her ugly suits and Scrap Iron Adam Pearce with his goofy look on his face all the time. So sick of this, because it doesn't work, and it's so obvious that it doesn't work, but they still keep going with these guys anyway. I prefer the anonymous Raw general manager. I prefer a fucking laptop over both of these people. Carmella defeated Liv Morgan. Both of them had very, like, weird video packages. Liv Morgan looked kind of freaky. She's, like, staring right into the camera with this. She doesn't need that glitter. Liv is cute enough without. Like, what is up with all these weird makeup designs where they've got, like, this, like, the little, like, the war paint. I'm so sick and tired of looking at that. And Carmella with just such a basic sounding, it was nice, like, she's trying to do the sex appeal thing of, you can't take your eyes off me, and I'm all for that, but it was so basic. It's like something that one of these girls would cut as their first promo. Like, okay, like, we know that Carmella is attractive, so she's telling us, like, oh, you can't take your eyes, but that would be good for the first couple of weeks. But we're talking about someone that's been on the roster here for 4 or 5 years. And now she's telling us, oh, by the way, guys, I'm good looking. Really? Like, okay. Anyway, we move on to the match. Carmella defeats Liv Morgan. No surprise there. I've got a big feeling that Liv Morgan is not going to be too far behind Ruby Riott. She's a lot easier on the eyes than old Ruby Riott, but where are they going to go with Liv Morgan? Seriously. Where is this going? We're being told we have to take her serious as an athlete. I'm sorry, but, Liv Morgan, as far as I'm concerned, learned a lot of fancy moves. But as far as a wrestler, like, is she good? No, like, I mean, there's nothing here. I'm not, oh my God, Liv Morgan, such an amazing athlete. I'm not like some of these cringe meisters here, in the YWC or what's left of it. We'll say the internet wrestling community. I'm not going to be here worshiping women's wrestlers because someone can pull off a suicide dive when almost everyone and their mama could pull that off. I'm pretty sure even Paul Heyman, if he really tried, could pull off one of those crappy dives if he really tried. Then we have Rey Mysterio and Dominic being informed that they're going to have a rematch later in the night. Great. So the first match and the whole segment, like, that took up like a half an hour of the show. Okay, I realize that I'm watching it in clips, but I do a pretty good job of trying to see like what's what, and I try to watch as much as I can to get a fair opinion of what's going on. And I've got to say that, like, are you out of your minds here? Like, seriously, you're going to have the same match twice. It's bad enough we have the same people wrestling each other all the time, and everything feels samey. But now we're going to have the same exact match twice. Once to open it, and again to close it? Like who do they think is going to stay tuned besides who watches this every week? Like, I'm a guaranteed YouTuber, but I'm saying, like, seriously, on TV, the ratings where it counts big time, who is going to stay tuned to see the same match that they just saw? They just saw that one. And they saw it have a finish. Now, it might have been a kabuki-ish finish. It wasn't really even that clear of a kabuki-ish finish. But, it was a finish nonetheless. So I don't understand why we're going to do it again. Anyway, of course, there was a reason why they did it again, but they could have gotten to that in the beginning of the show. Okay, we've got Bianca Belair and Bayley. And, I kind of already decided what my thumbnail's going to be. From the moment I saw this, I'm like, yep, that's the thumbnail for the video. Because that's what the people want to see. That's what you want to see. That's what you want to hear me talk about. I've ragged on both of these girls. I've been called a racist for doing so. I've been called, a sexist for doing so. Whatever the case may be, I've been ranting on the women's division for years now, folks. So it does not faze me. You can say whatever you want. Go right ahead. I'm not saying it for any of those reasons. That's quite clear. I'm saying it because it's bad, right? I've talked about how I felt about women's wrestling back in the day. I've praised certain women wrestlers. Did I not praise Billie Kay? Did I not also praise Bianca Belair for her strength, for the feats of strength that she performed? Did I not praise certain matches? I mean, don't I also praise saying that I like Charlotte? I don't get it. I call it as I see it. If it's good, I'm going to say so. If it's bad, I'm going to call it a pile of shit. And right here, in front of me, I'm staring at a pile of shit when I look at this segment. We've got Bianca Belair calling out Bayley. She commented on the laugh, kind of there is like, you kind of know what's coming there because she called her like a cackler. And she gets on, and, she's wearing her weird, clothes. Whoever dresses her hair still looks terrible. And she starts laughing. And then they get this bright idea that the laugh is annoying, so why don't we make her laugh on all of the virtual screens inside the Thunderdome? So we get 100 Baileys. And now you get what I'm talking about, my worst nightmare. We got to see her cackling, doing that dumb laugh 100 times simultaneously. Holy cannoli. You've got to be kidding me here. I understand that this might be a funny idea, and I kind of laughed at this, but I wasn't laughing because it's good, entertaining television. I was laughing because it's almost like a prank on me. Now, obviously, WWE doesn't know who I am, but, if they did and they wanted to rib me, they would probably do a segment like this. And that's exactly what they did. So, it was a challenge made out to Bayley, and she laughs at Bianca, and she's got to like do a haunting laugh, and Bianca's looking scared. Oh my God, she's up on a screen. Oh, scary stuff. The scary thing is just how bad it is and just how terrible, and the fact that this even makes it onto TV. These are contenders. We're being told that these are two of the best women that SmackDown brand has to offer. What a joke. What an absolute joke of a segment. What an absolute farce of a division. With that being said, we move on. Otis beats the ever-living shit out of the Street Profits. Okay, not maybe ever-living, but, he just basically threw them into stuff, and they all fell down, and I like Otis like this. The facial expressions. He is a believable monster. And I like this. So, we need to get Otis away from Chad Gable. Gable is not doing Otis any favors. Just by him kind of being with Chad and being associated with the fact that Chad is not a highly revered star, it kind of hurts him. But if Otis does more of this and just terrorize, I could kind of see, now of course, not as good, but, Otis is not that tall, but he's a wide dude. So who's that remind me of? Rhino? Rhino's awesome. I think Rhino was an amazing talent. Still is. Still never know why they released the guy. They didn't do anything with him significant in his last run. Well, here's your second chance at bat. You've got Otis here. And he might not have that look, but, but Otis does have a look, and I've said this now even when he was a face. So now we see that he works as a heel. He's way better than a lot of other people. Way better than Bayley. That's for damn sure. So, you know what? I like where this is going, with Otis. Now, of course, that means it's not going to go that far because it's good, which means it has to turn out bad, right? Corbin defeated Nakamurphy for at least the 16th time. I feel like every single week I'm reviewing this match. Boogs once again comes out, and Pat McAfee, this is probably the most annoying thing. McAfee makes like Megadeth, like Dave Mustaine is playing the guitar here. I mean, you would think that Kurt Hammett was shredding the solo to Battery. Come on. This is ridiculous. Every single time Boogs comes out, we have to have this guy lose his ever-loving mind. It's quite clear that they've got nothing for Nakamurphy. So, what do? We give him his old theme back. We make Boogs the Old Spice guy play his theme on guitar, and we have McAfee try to put it over, but no one gives a shit. Because, what are we getting? It's funny, Nakamurphy's got a crown on his head. And, Corbin beats him. Again, he has to, this big man has to, do a stack pin and catch him in one of those cute little I gotcha covers. And then we move on. He's got the crown back. And then Boogs grabs his legs. Nakamurphy attacks him. He gets the crown back. A game of hot potato with the crown. It's just so entertaining. Oh my God. We move on here. We've got Apollo Crews and Owens are up for a match, but Commander Aziz attacks Owens backstage. I kind of like how Owens was selling the back during the match that followed. I kind of do. I also like how he ran into the ropes. I'm praising the fat man. I'm praising that fat piece of garbage, Kevin Owens, for a change. Hey, look, I never said that Kevin Owens is a bad wrestler. I don't think he's great. I don't like the way how they book him in matches like he could kick out of everything. I am happy that when Apollo Crews hit the Death Valley Driver on the apron, that was the finish. There is no way that anyone should be kicking out of a DVD onto a ring apron. I mean, come on, the hardest part of the ring, a move that's been used by Perry Saturn, been used by the Godfather as finishers, and they hit that move, the match was over. So as far as I'm concerned, a match should not be continuing after a Death Valley driver, especially to that part of the ring. After the match, Sami Zayn comes in. He attacks Owens. We're not getting any conspiracy stuff, so I'm already losing interest in Sami Zayn here. And then we finish things up, and we have another tag match. Okay, the match is going on. It's more, and then Reigns runs in, and I just have to say, okay, so he beats up Rey Mysterio, and he beats up Dominic, and he hits Dominic in the face with the steel steps. Which was surprising because they don't normally do headshots. So I guess they're allowing Reigns to do it, which is cool. It looked like a really good beatdown, and aside from that, I have to say, why couldn't we just do this? Save this to the end in the main event, or just do that in the beginning and do something else at the end. I don't get it. Honestly, why did they have to restart the match and everything at the end, and there be that big gap in the middle? I mean, yes, I did like that there were little things throughout the night, but they didn't really last. They didn't really string it together as long as they could. It was just we're going to have a rematch at the end of the show, and we're going to get Reigns to come out there when it looks like the Usos are in trouble. And the thing is here, okay, this seriously needs to lead to Rey Mysterio versus Reigns. That is a match that I will accept. If they do that at SummerSlam, I'd actually look forward to that match. Because I don't see enough people saying it, but they have Rey Mysterio still on the roster. And Rey Mysterio, might be there for a while, but as far as I'm concerned, the younger talent is not getting it done. They haven't for years. So you might as well, give the matches to the guys who know what they're doing. And Rey Mysterio could definitely pull off a good match with Reigns. It could be a decent program, I suppose. Of course, it's not going to be what it could be. So that about does it for this review. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I tried to do what I said. Try to get through things a little bit quicker. Let me know what you think down in the comments, and tried to edit it up a bit, make it a little bit snappier. If you don't like it, let me know. If you did like it, like I said, let me know in the comments down below. And please subscribe if you haven't already. Click the bell so you get all notifications when I post all my new videos. I want to thank all my patrons for your continued support. And thanks again, guys. I'll see you next time.